Good morning, and welcome to the New Player's Guide to Dark and Darker. The first thing to note is that if you're just playing free-to-play, you'll notice that you only have one character slot. But if you pay $30, then you can upgrade to a premium account. This will give you access to 9 more character slots. This is important because if you only have one character, then if you want to play another character, you have to delete the one you currently have and lose all of your stuff. So you really should pay $30 to upgrade to legendary status and get 9 character slots. Now the next thing to take note of is the classes. Ranger is the best class, so pick that one. Now that you've picked Ranger, you're going to want to go to your Squire, and then you're going to want to put on gear. What gear you put on depends on your stats. You can see your stats in the perks and skill part of your class section. You want to make sure you have at least 15 strength and dexterity, as the negatives for being under 15 of any given stat are much worse than the positives that you get for going above 15. In other words, you will notice a greater effect if you have at least 15 of any given stat. But the only stats that matter are strength, dexterity, and movement speed. Any other stat does not matter. Let's take a look at my stash for the moment to examine gear. Each gear gives you stats. Stats are important, as this arming sword reduces my movement speed, but this spear reduces it by more. This ranger hood gives me agility, whereas this forest hood gives me strength. If I had this ranger hood on, I would have less than 15 strength, and that's no good. Let's check out the merchants. This guy is the collector. He buys valuable items called sellables. This is how you get this much gold. Otherwise you'll have like 5 gold. You can also sell armor, but that's not how you do it. You gotta click the sell button. If you just left click an item, it will automatically go into the sell receptacle. But if you right click an item, it will remove it. If you shift right click an item, it will disappear forever. Just kidding. It goes to your stash. Likewise, if you shift right click an item in your stash, it will go into your inventory. You're gonna want to buy a lot of gold purses because you're gonna get a lot of gold. And gold takes up a lot of space, and that's no good. Down here are your quest log. Quest log have many things to do. You should get items and give them to your quest people, because then they will like you more and sell you more stuff. The only one that matters is the Squire. because when your squire levels up, you get more items. Remember that after every gameplay session, you should always go to your squire and replenish your potions of healings and bandages and other items that you may be wanting. Any item that has an item equipped in it will not be refilled. So if you want to replenish your armor, you must remove what is currently there. But if you wish to wear better armor, don't bother, because these things take up inventory and they don't sell for any money. The main thing to look for are your healing items or consumables. You never want to play in PvP, because if you play in PvP, you will lose all of your items every time. Because we're new players, and we suck at this game. And I'll show you why. Let us explore this cold, frigid place. Here you will find skeletons and goblins, and they all want to kill you. You may have noticed that I got hit by an arrow. Arrows hurt. Don't get hit by those. This goblin has cuffed boots and a bolt. The bolt is useful to me because I have a crossbow. But the cuffed boots are worse than my old shoes. This is a waste of inventory space. This item belongs in the trash. This is an explosive bottle, an example of an item that you can find around anywhere. You always want to pick up explosive bottles and throw them. Arrows hurt. The spear is the best weapon. Keep in mind, when using a bow or a crossbow, your arrows will have an arc to them, depending on how far you shoot. So try to aim a little bit higher. You'll want to aim for certain body parts. The head does the most damage, whereas the limbs do the least amount of damage. Now that all these goblins are dead, and we are safe, let's go ahead and loot. I lied. There's another goblin. But that's okay, because he's going to die. This is a large oak chest. These contain better loot than the smaller chests you've been seeing around. This one had an exquisite sellable item. Keep an eye out for blue, purple, and maybe even purple colored. I don't know. I've only ever seen blue and purple. This is a potion of healing. You'll need these, as when you take damage, you'll notice that you have two different bars. One is dark red, and one is light red. Drinking a potion will refill both of these. Using a bandage, however, will only refill the light health. This implies that as you take damage, you can only heal up to the dark bar, unless you use a potion of healing or a campfire. Campfires take a little bit to put out, so you'll want to make sure that you're safe before using them. You'll also want to make sure you sit very quickly, as the campfire will run out despite what you're doing. So take advantage of it, or miss out on a good amount of healing. Now that I've used all of my healing items, I'll need to find more. Luckily, there were 2 bandages right here. It sounds like there's a goblin being murdered by another player. But I'm gonna take this chest before he does. Never mind. He probably has items equipped that increase his action speed. This is important because in the situation we just encountered, he opened this chest before I did. And opening chests grants you experience, and if someone else has opened them already, you gain 0 experience. Items like explosive bottles aren't just good for throwing, they're also good for turning into quests. Some NPCs may require that you give them an explosive bottle. Don't use all of them if you know you have that quest. You may want to save it for when you return home. These are those boots that I found earlier. You may have noticed the timer that is ticking down in the bottom right. This timer is important to pay attention to. As the time gets low enough, different negative effects will start to happen. And eventually, an exit will open. If you take an exit, you'll be able to escape. This one can harbor many players, whereas a staircase can only handle one. A boat will leave and return without you.